Winx Club is an Italian animated series which revolutionized the magical girl genre and reshaped our perspectives of fairies. Created in 2004 by Igneo Straffi, the show is co-produced by Rainbow and Nickelodeon, and whilst overall it's had its fair share of success, there were some rocky times. Welcome back to the Cartoon Hotspot, and in this video I'll be formulating my ideal cast for Winx Club. Before we get into this video, make sure to subscribe to my channel, follow me on Instagram and Twitter, and hit that bell button for post notifications because the YouTube algorithm is so messed up. Anyways, Winx Club has 4 dubs: Rai/Cinelume, 4Kids, Nickelodeon, Duwatch/3Beep, and Dubbin Brothers, which dubbed the movies. And I'll be picking different voice actresses from different dubs that I think best suits each girl. Flora has a total of 5 voice actresses, and I've decided to cast Alejandra Reynoso, who voiced Flora in the Nickelodeon dub. I did have a hard time picking between Holly Gutierrez-Franco from the Cinelume dub, because it was a case where I liked Holly's voice acting for season 2 and 3, but not from season 1. I'm not quite sure why her voices are different. I don't know, it could be the case that someone had to step in on some occasions, or just simply some inconsistencies in her acting. For me, Alejandra portrayed Flora relatively better than the other actresses, in the sense that she managed to capture Flora's sweet, sensitive, mother-like nature. But in some cases when Flora needed to be tough, she also managed to play it off so well. Going back to my point on how Flora is sort of like the mum in the group, primarily a reason why Alejandra ticks all my boxes is because compared to the other voice actresses, she sounded the most natural and mature. Now, Tecna was voiced by a total of 6 voice actresses, I believe, and the person I think voiced Tecna best is Jodie Resda. Now, Jodie was a Cinelume voice actress who took over Leslie Cast from season 2 episode 7 up until and including the whole of season 4. Don't ask me why Leslie Cast suddenly left, I have no clue. But if you guys know, let me know down in the comment section below. For me, Jodie did a better job, and I prefer her performance to other voice actresses by a mile. Leslie Cast for me sounded a bit too robotic, and I don't know if she was just directed to sound that way or something, but I definitely didn't like it. I get that was the point, as Tecna is a cyborg fairy, but I thought Tecna's whole arc was her trying to show everybody that she's more than just a girl who likes numbers, and that she does have emotions, believe it or not. Where Leslie Cast falls is where Jodie Resda excels, in the sense that Jodie was able to voice Tecna's vulnerable side, all while sounding natural. Morgan Decker, whilst is the fan favourite, to me there were times she sounded a bit too forced, but I will give her credits for her performance in Tecna's Sacrifice. Now we're going on to our Fairy of Music. For Musa, my ideal voice actress would be Romy Dames, who was part of the Nickelodeon cast and voiced Musa for season 3 to season 6, and of course the Nickelodeon 1 hour specials for season 1 and 2. Now I'm going to let you guys in on a little secret. I was so close, and I mean so close, to picking Lisa Ortiz, Musa's 4Kids actress, over Romy Dames. So the best way I can explain why I picked Romy is by comparing both of them. The only reason why I was initially going to pick Lisa is because I think she captured Musa's tomboy nature way better than Romy, as well as Musa's sarcastic side. Lisa's voice acting generally made me laugh when Musa said something sarcastic or funny, whereas Romy just seemed pretty serious. And overall, Lisa's acting portrayal of Musa was just bad boss energy, girl. Like, Musa was my favorite character with Lisa's acting. That's how much I like Lisa.
It's the word on the street. Yo, if you plan to blow up more stuff, let us know ahead so we can bounce.
But where Lisa falls is where Romy makes up for. Romy overall did a better job in portraying Musa's sensitive and vulnerable side, especially in the episode Finding Your Way, the scene with Musa and her mother. I do agree that Lisa's acting for that scene was just as impactful and emotional, which took me by surprise, but I just think that Romy was more well-rounded than Lisa, so I can't knock her down any further. So now we go on to our golden girl, the very own Stella, Fairy of the Sun and Moon, or Shining Sun, whichever version you prefer. Picking Stella's voice actress was super hard simply because each one of her voices had something the others lacked and vice versa, but I've decided to cast Jennifer Seguin. Now, Jennifer was part of the Cinelume cast, and this probably is going to be an unpopular opinion, but I think she was the best voice for Stella, even better than the fan favourite Amy Gross. Jessica Paquet, who voices Stella in season 7, I believe, was a close second, and I'm so sorry, but I really did not like Lisa Adams and Stella. For me, I think Jennifer did a significantly better depiction of Stella than the other voice actresses, and here's why. Jennifer was able to show Stella's posh side, and I know some fans think Stella's Cinelume voice was too royal, but I personally disagree. I liked it just the way it was because it showed that Stella can be a jokester all whilst not completely abandoning her roots. Like, we know Stella is a person of high standards and class. We can hear that in her voice. But it was just nice to know that she hasn't completely forgotten who she is, or at least, like, we know she's this person who's from royalty and that she has this high expectations, has this high standards, but she could still be the type to crack a joke in the middle of a battle. Like I mentioned before, Jennifer was able to pull off the scenes where Stella was shown to be vulnerable. So when she opens up about her parents' divorce in the episode where she earns her Charmix, Amy Gross for me sounded way too childish and immature, which arguably is Stella most of the times. But when Stella had an upsetting scene, I just couldn't take her seriously. And Lisa Adams, it could very well be my opinion, but half of the time I felt like she was shouting, and realistically, that's not how people talk. Not even Stella would act like that. This is probably going to be my most controversial opinion yet, but hey, isn't that what I'm here for? Aisha was an easy decision, and I'm not even going to beat around the bush. For Aisha, I've decided to cast none other than the amazing Vasti Monpoint, who voiced Aisha in the 4Kids dub, and I'll explain why the others don't quite fit Aisha perfectly in my opinion. We'll start with Lucinda Davis, Aisha's Cinnalune voice actress for seasons 2 to 4. Considering Aisha's character arc in season 2, I think Lucinda did an amazing job in depicting Aisha's sweet yet timid nature, and I definitely do prefer her over Keke Palmer. Yes, I know, a bold statement, but hey, I said what I said. There's just something about Lucinda's acting that genuinely captivated me and made me feel so empathetic towards Aisha and her childhood loneliness/solitude. But overall, whilst Vasti's voice was seemingly deep, I actually quite liked this as it emphasized how quickly she had matured because life had showed her the worst side of the world at an early age, and so her deep voice is kind of like a bridge between her timid/vulnerable nature and her badass, rugged personality. On one side, you've got a girl who wants nothing more than to feel the warmth of friendship, and on the other side is a girl who's trying so hard to bury her disturbing past behind her, but she can't. And so she puts up a front, which is why Vasti is the perfect voice actress for Aisha. Keke did an okay job, I'll give her that, but most of the times I felt like Aisha was overdramatic or sounded too whiny, and at some point snapping for no reason, which genuinely made me dislike Aisha, in the later seasons at least.
Man, sit your dumb ass down.
And finally, we got our main girl, Bloom, Fairy of the Dragon Flame, Fairy of the inextinguishable power that created the magical universe in the first instance. I don't even know how many people voiced Bloom, and for my sanity, I'm not going to bother counting. Similar to Stella and Aisha, this might spark a little bit of controversy. For Bloom, I think the voice actress who played her best is Lisa Jacklin. Lisa Jacklin voiced Bloom in the 4Kids dub for seasons 1, 2 and 3, and you're probably wondering why I picked her over Nickelodeon's Molly Quinn. So I'll start off with why Molly Quinn didn't quite make the top spot. I personally think that it was all due to the Nickelodeon dialogue that just didn't suit Molly's voice acting to accommodate for Bloom's character, which is not totally Molly's fault, but hey, life isn't fair.
You're totally conceited, totally cocky, totally boring waste of good oxygen.
There were moments where Bloom just sounded like a complete baby, which I know for a fact annoyed most of the fandom because it definitely annoyed me. I also think Molly did not pull off the scenes where Bloom was shown to be upset or crying. It sounded too forced and sometimes even fake, to the point that I didn't even feel bad for her. But one thing I will give her props for is her screams. Helena, on the other hand, who voiced Bloom in the Cinnalune dub, fitted Bloom so well. For season 1 and maybe season 2. I love how Helena was able to pull off Bloom's shy and unsure nature, which fit in so nicely with the storyline of Bloom feeling out of place, and in some occasions she only slightly managed, and I mean slightly, managed to show Bloom's fiery personality. However, beating them both by a mile is Lisa Jacklin. Lisa ticks all my boxes, and she pretty much has all the qualities in her voice that fits Bloom's character. What I really admire most about Lisa is how in season 1 she was able to show how childlike and insecure / out of place Bloom was, and by season 3 she effortlessly portrayed how Bloom had grown and matured, all whilst maintaining her occasional quirkiness. In season 1, Bloom actually sounded like a typical 16-year-old who deals with everyday challenges that your average teenager faces, well, technically having your powers taken from you, finding out your love interest is actually engaged, and discovering your home planet has been destroyed by the most evil of evil isn't your typical idea of what an average teen faces, but you know what I mean. And not to mention, her screams were on point.
You did let it happen.
That's right.
It's a shame. Bunny was so cute. I'm going to get you for that.
I just genuinely think Lisa Jacklin voiced Bloom the best. Like, everything was there. The vulnerable side, the shy, unsure nature, the fiery personality, her screams, everything was on point. And whilst I do appreciate Molly's acting and Helena's acting as well, I just felt like Molly was able to portray Bloom in every single season she acted in, whereas some actresses only were able to portray Bloom in some seasons. So like I said, Helena was only able to portray Bloom in season 1 perfectly, whereas Molly was only able to portray Bloom alright in season 5 and 6, given that Bloom was practically a little brat in season 5, crying over Diaspora and Sky, even though she knows Sky loves her. So there you have it. As you can see, I've casted 2 Cinelume actresses, 2 Nick actresses, and 2 4Kids actresses. So we've got Lisa Jacklin, Jennifer Seguin, Vasti Munpoint, Romy Dames, Alejandra Reynoso, and Jodie Rezda. And you're probably wondering why I haven't casted any 3-beep/dua or Dubbin Brothers actresses, and that's just because I genuinely don't like the voice acting. I don't know why, it just gives me like it rubs me off in the wrong way. So if you enjoyed this video, be sure to leave a like and subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you again in my next video. Bye!